Hello everyone, Pat Storyteller here. Welcome to new subscribers. Thank you for coming over and listening to the latest download from my storytelling muse. And this story started when I was on a walk and I was calling on my muse and she answered with gratitude. So this story is about grateful Miralee. Miralee is the name of the main speaker in this story. So here we go. Get comfy. Grateful Miralee. Miralee couldn't stop talking. As she lay in her hospital bed, a steady stream of words flows from her mind about her day, her life, her next moment. She could hear all her own words, and she knows the person in the hospital bed next to hers can also hear her, because the person is saying, "Hey, hey." Miralee continues. I said I'm so grateful to be in this bed in this hospital. I used to work here some time ago, so I know how well they take care of everyone. I wasn't a nurse or a doctor, but I worked here, and everyone here takes care of every patient so well, even staff like me who are not the medical. I got in here last night after the incident. Hey? Hey? Maybe it was the medication to manage the pain, but Miralee really feels she's speaking clearly enough. Maybe the person in the other bed is hard of hearing. She continues, I was walking my dog last evening. Then I heard a loud argument coming from an apartment on my left. So I turned my head, and just in time, I missed a car turning the corner. I am glad I paid attention to the argument because that moment saved me from the car hitting me. Slid right up on the sidewalk. Don't even ask me why. I tell you what I'm grateful for. I called the helpline because I was afraid for the woman in that apartment. The fighting sounded so fierce, so I didn't know what else to do. I could not even pay attention to that car. I stood there for a long time. Even though my dog wanted to move, I wanted to make sure the helpline came to save that life. The fighting sounded pretty bad, and I wanted to be sure she was going to be safe. I tell you what, it wasn't the first time I walked past that place and heard that kind of sound, but this time it was worse than before, and I am grateful that I stopped at that window, because I tell you what, it was only 3 months ago that I was walking past that window, and under that window was the first time I came into contact with my dog. I was walking. That dog looked so lost, and no tag, nothing to say who was the dog with, so it was right under that window, and I called that from the same spot to the place for lost dogs, and there was no report for one lost in that area. And I thought, maybe it was too soon, and maybe the person for the dog was not knowing yet that the dog was not at home or wherever it was living. So I stood for a little while and thought maybe someone would come out for the dog, and that was how I heard the arguing. And I wondered if they were missing a dog, but I couldn't ask because the fighting was uncomfortable, even though it was not my fight. But here's the thing. That dog took to me, like We had known each other for years, and when I thought it looked too uncomfortable to be standing there under the window, dog or no dog, because of the fighting, and maybe they would think I was interfering with their private life, even though it wasn't private, the way the sound was coming out the window. So I walked away after this, and as I'm saying to you, my dog, that the dog just followed me along as if we always did that. And this is the reason I never put a leash on that dog, which I named him my friend. I called him Amigo, but in my mind I was thinking friend. So that was it. I would go up the stairs to my apartment, and he was following so simply, like we have always done this thing together. So I'm so grateful to have this dog, because, to tell the truth, I was feeling the sadness from the way my Aunt Adora, she was close to 80, how she went to the heavens some weeks before. And I tell you, she was as kind could be. And when she was talking, when she was taking the look into the eyes of her own mother calling her, she said, "Don't worry, Miralee, you will always have someone to take care of you, and soon you will see who that is." She said it like that, and smiled, and said her mother was calling her, even though her mother was in the heavens with her mother before her. So when this Amigo, sitting there on the sidewalk below the fighting window, followed me home, even though I did the right thing by reporting he was lost, it was not a surprise. I was so grateful that I had a can of dog food in the cupboard to give to this Amigo, and I think I was taking care of him before he started to take care of me. So that was nice for both of us. So last night, was it last night though? I was walking past that same window, and the fighting, and the whole situation with the car being so careless, coming so close on the sidewalk. So anyway, I called the number that you have to call when this kind of thing is escalating. And in the middle of this call, I got an interrupted call from my doctor saying, "You have to come back to the hospital right away because we have the results of your test, and it doesn't look good." It was like there was emergency in my doctor's voice. So I said to the careless driver, almost on the sidewalk, "You owe me for this move, and you have to drive me to the hospital right now." And he was so surprised about the demand and said I was not injured. And I said, No, this is not the time to argue. I was so grateful that there was a car right there. And I can use that demanding voice that I know works so well because I have so much practice with it working in the hospital. So the bad driver followed my strong voice. And anyway, the hospital was only 15 minutes away. Actually 12 minutes, but you know how the traffic can be in this part of town. I told my doctor if my condition was going to be a result coming back that said you only have 2 months to live or some doctor talk like that, to leave that out of the conversation because I was not going to listen to it anyway. I know Aunt Adora is waiting for me, but I have my dog Amigo to take care of, and I cannot hear this kind of talk. Anyway, I'm so grateful for this hospital room. I hope you don't mind. Immediately I got here, they put me on the window side, and I'm so grateful how you are letting me tell you all of this. But where's Amigo? Do you want me to tell you why you are here? Do you want to tell me why you're here? I could see you have so many bruises. What happened? Was it from a surgery? took a breath, but just then a nurse came in with an assistant and wheeled the other patient out. "Wrong room," the nurse said quietly to the assistant. She came through eMERGE. Internal injuries happened inside her home. Should be in post-op care, not here in the ICU, not here in terminal care. Thank you for listening to this story. And next up, the usual card pull. My guides and angels, please show us the best message for this moment for myself and anyone who's viewing this moment. Thank you. Worry and concern is followed